This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Bears team entering play. They've been as hot as anyone. The win last week makes it 9 out of 10.
The results are hard to argue. If there's a team better suited for the postseason right now, I don't know who they are.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they're in a real groove of late. Winners of 5 of their last 6 games.
And they had it easy last week. They jumped out to an early lead and then put it on cruise control from there.
The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that tells me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he's got his man on the out route. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a 1st down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up 1st downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that. That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well. On every snap, a defense is trying to establish who they are. But on 3rd and short, that's really when you put it out there and tell people who you are. And that's exactly what they did. For the offense, they're looking at their offensive line and saying, guys, where are you? We need you on those plays.
And now out comes Minnesota. call a play fake here on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there, 94 yards. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. And that one carries out of the side of the end zone for a touchback, so that will come out now to the 25-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he will find his man on the outside. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He can make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
He'll drop to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. He got 29 yards that time. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down. While we know that the identity of this offense is to throw the ball, they've got to run it every so often, if for no other reason than to tamp down the pass rush. They can't let them just tee off and get to their quarterback.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he stopped immediately there. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. Well, that was better than the first go-around when he lost yardage, but still nothing there, and that sets up a 3rd and long. Tough spot here.
Put it mildly. Sometimes I wonder if some of that old-school football...
The Bears on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12.
Now let's go. Green, 39. Green.
He'll look to throw. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, we'll see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. I mean, that's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
They go play action here on first down. And a diving grab. I think he got that. Yes. First play of the drive, a success. 19 yards.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence or you think you're really going to fake them out. And it looks like they did exactly that.
Yeah, going deep in the playbook and a great grab on the other end. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. Touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. That's an early touchdown grab for last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He was so electric, and they talked about it all week long. Have to try to contain it.
And now for him, being able to focus on the task at hand and not just immediately assume that last week it totally carries over, but you got to like the start that he has, showing those great hands that we've seen from him throughout.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
All right, here we go.
Back to throw now on first down. Looking middle, and that's complete. He's got the lane, and there he goes. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. A big play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Bears are able to show off their quick strike ability. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get them in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed because, let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over, this game could be 88 and out the gate early.
What? 88 and out the gate?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, listen, I used to hear my old man talk about it. Usually meant that thing's done.
Well, now that they got the touchdown, it's not 88 and out the gate. We still got a good game going ahead of us.
Here we go now.
On first and 10, Fields. Wide open receiver complete. 30, 10. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A big play there. His second TD of the game and 16th on the season. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. A lot of the problems have been on the other side of the ball. Is that frustrating for a quarterback who's been playing well?
It is, but there's no way that the best ones let their teammates know that. They actually take it upon themselves and say, okay, I have to do even more, or I need to play better. Maybe even say, I put my defense in a bad spot. That's what true leadership shows you.
Yeah, well, he doesn't need to change much personally.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Yeah, quick throw here, that's complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A good pickup there, a 22.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Over the middle, complete. It's Howell. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down. The Bears on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Here we go now.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they've rallied and made.
And look at this. It's a fake. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 19. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
On first down, Fields. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. On his way to a monster game, 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. So not only is that his 3rd touchdown catch of the game, he's done it here in the first half.
I'm not sure defensively what they're going to come up with to slow him down, because already we're seeing him run past, over, through guys in order to make these catches. And being able to try and shut him down at this stage of the game, it's going to take a lot of effort. So maybe it'll open things up for some other people.
Well, they better figure something out, and soon. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Onto the field now come the Bears. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well. He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. He's got to be feeling pretty good, playing well. Team has the lead, so just looking to mount a drive here that ends in the end zone.
And all quarterbacks will tell you, hey, we love a running game, helps us out. But
through an opening, and there he goes. The 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. On his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. This is taken about 7 yards deep. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at him turn.
And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
So there you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some...
And now off to the races down the right side. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A big play there. 75 yards. And this Viking offense is running away with this one. And that touchdown reception is the 5th for him in this game, and that ties the NFL record.
And a record that's held up since 1950. This is another person that's tied it, but think about this. Bob Shaw said it in 1950. Kellen Winslow came along and tied it. And then, of course, Jerry Rice tied it as well. And finally, we're seeing it here one more time. Phenomenal.
So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead will swell by one more. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. And they gave up the pick 6, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
All right, here we go.
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful, because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Howell. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me,
rush coming, and he's taken down.
But nothing takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Howell. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there.
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. In for the score. And the Bears claw one back. Extra point forthcoming.
The big fella was the recipient there for that touchdown pass, and it seems like more and more the tight end is the guy you have to worry about most in the passing game.
Extra point right down the middle. So they do get one score back, but still a long way to go here in the 3rd quarter. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drives exactly what you want on offense. But they have to be careful of.
Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there with touchdown number 20 on the year. And the Vikings offense continues to pour it on. And that, boys and girls, is an NFL record 6th touchdown reception. The record has stood since 1950. What a game.
How about that? Because so many things have to go right in order for it to happen. Not just him catching the passes. Someone delivering it accurately. Offensive line giving them time to throw the ball. A true team record. But he stands above it because he was on the receiving end of so many great plays.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
And he finds a man with a crossing route. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. This quarterback now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. They're going to look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Howell. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against him.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown.
Well, partner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pickoff.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Marching back out there, ready for the next possession. Here comes the Vikings defense. After the pick six, they go right back to the air. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves.
And a big loss here as he's taken down.
He's NFL sack leader coming into the game. And now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Here comes the Bears punter now. On, we think, to punt, though he's faked it earlier, but he was unsuccessful. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down. Fields. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A big play there. His 21st touchdown of the season. And this Viking offense is running away with this one. I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, I've lost track of how many times he's been in the end zone. This is just flat unbelievable. Back now here on EA Sports. For the 4th quarter, we'll begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the 3rd quarter. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
This home crowd, they're happy with that
call. I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
Being chased out left. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Nice job there defensively. A great time to dial up a blitz.
And give him credit under center instead of throwing it away. Actually, a pretty good job of getting past the line of scrimmage, not losing yardage. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 70th catch for him on the year, and like so many others, this goes for a 1st down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Breaks through the contact. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 47 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off inside the 5. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
On 1st and 10, Fields. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. He's at the 30, past the 20, and he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Vikings offense continues to pour it on.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
But she's singing, too.
Oh, she's at least...
She's on, like, the 5th tune at this point.
She left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see, do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off around the 37. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Fields. Wide open receiver, complete. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. As his guys are in for 6. And the interception by the Vikings D leads to a touchdown.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know they're playing people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And last time, 1 play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production. But how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his numbers, the ball carry.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Back to throw. And he's going to go down again.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And now out comes Minnesota. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the 4th quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. You know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance. Where they took
a big seam, and he might go all the way. And he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Holding offense.
Brutal, so take away the long touchdown.
It's a cruel game sometimes, partner.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. That one looks like he'll throw here. favorite target yet again. It's complete. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? No, I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo
exactly.
going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how...
And now here is another interception. Picked off near the 44. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Now they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
3-19!
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Throwing the slant pattern here, complete. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 11. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. And a timeout here. Timeout taken, whistles blown. Timeout taken by the receiving team. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. There were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down. This time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
On fourth down, Fields. Blitz coming, and down he goes. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Minnesota, they continue to make their case for the playoffs as they move to 9-3. And they'll return home next week to take on the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, for the Bears, this could hurt in the race for home field advantage as they drop to 10-2 on the year. And they'll look to